I still remember the day it happened. The day my life changed forever. I was 17, and my family had just moved into a new house on the outskirts of town. It was an old, creepy Victorian mansion that had been abandoned for decades. The real estate agent had warned us about the house's dark history, but my parents had dismissed it as mere small-town legend. As I lay in bed that first night, I felt an eerie presence in the room. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but as the days went by, the feeling only intensified. I would hear whispers in the dead of night, and the shadows on the walls seemed to move of their own accord. I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but deep down, I knew something was horribly wrong. It started with small things. Doors creaking open, objects moving on their own, and an unshakable feeling of being watched. I tried to convince myself it was just the house settling, but the occurrences grew more frequent and more intense. One night, I woke up to find myself writing strange symbols on the wall in my own blood. I had no memory of doing it. And when I showed my parents, they were horrified. They took me to see a psychologist, who diagnosed me with schizophrenia. But I knew it wasn't that. I knew something was inside me, something ancient and evil. The possessions started soon after. I would black out, and when I came to, I would find myself in strange places, with no memory of how I got there. My parents were terrified, and they didn't know what to do. They tried to perform an exorcism, but it only seemed to make things worse. The entity inside me grew stronger, and I could feel its presence more and more. It was a dark, malevolent force that seemed to take pleasure in my suffering. I knew I was losing myself, bit by bit, and I didn't know how to stop it. One night, I woke up to find myself standing in front of the mirror. My eyes were black as coal, and my voice was not my own. I was speaking in tongues, and my body was contorting in ways that were humanly impossible. My parents were watching in horror, and I knew I was beyond saving. The last thing I remember is feeling the entity take complete control of my body. I was no longer me. I was a vessel for something ancient and evil. When I came to, I was in a hospital bed, surrounded by doctors and nurses. They told me I had been in a coma for weeks, and that my parents had been killed in a fire at our house. I was devastated. But as I looked down at my hands, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The symbols I had written on the wall in my own blood were now etched into my skin. And I knew that the entity was still inside me, waiting to strike again. I am writing this from a psychiatric ward, where I have been locked away for my own safety. I know I will never be free from the demon that possesses me, and I am doomed to spend the rest of my life trapped in this living nightmare. The worst part is, I can feel it stirring inside me, waiting for its next opportunity to take control. I am not sure how much longer I can hold on, and I fear that soon I will be nothing more than a puppet for the evil force that has consumed my soul.